Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for all coming out for our fundraiser for the Capital Area Urban League. Honored guest, Antonio Delgado. Y'all can get to shake his hand. He's the Lieutenant Governor who's I'd like to acknowledge our board members. Rachel, let them know who you are. That's a great kid. And Sam. And April. Me.
Thank you.
All you fine folk. The reason why the Urban League exists is that we help bring together correlations and help our 501c3s. We just do whatever people ask us to do. I just thank you all for coming out. That our president and CEO.
Thank you everyone for coming out tonight for our fundraiser. As Byron said, my name is April Land. I'm the president and CEO of the Capital Area Urban League. It's nice to see the folks who just came from our conference, where we spend the better part of the day talking about important issues around economic development, workforce development, education, equity, restorative justice, and public policy, or public safety. So I think we had a good time. Our whole focus is to take what we talk about at our conferences and put it into action, turn it into something that we can actually materialize, that's tangible, and that really has an impact in our community. So I think we had a good conference. We plan to reconvene within the next 30 days to move forward on this, like some of us like to say, move the rock instead of moving the needle. So thank you. I do want to just talk a little bit about why we're here to raise money. So we have a electrical free apprenticeship program, which is a part of our clean energy workforce development program we started a couple of years ago. Our first cohort, we worked in partnership with the labor group, and we're able to train 8 solar technicians. Several of them moved on, got placed, either went to college. That was the point, to create these career pipelines, or these pipelines into not just the trades, but we're expecting a lot of reinvestment in all, not just with the current $2 million. Isn't a whole lot, but it is something to revitalize all of them. So there'll be lots of jobs. How do we make sure that some of these construction trade jobs don't just go to one type of person, right? But that urban, underserved communities, Black and brown folks, can have access to this type of work as well. And so we're really raising funds tonight so that we can continue to have another cohort. We just graduated 9 in June in the pre-apprenticeship program. And yes, 2 of them right now are preparing to take the aptitude test to get into the electrician apprenticeship program. So this is quite a difficult, I mean, you have to do math and read comprehension and take a test and go before a board to be interviewed before you can even be considered. Our students would get those few extra points because of our relationship with the IBW, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the local here, 236. Because of them, they approved our pre-apprenticeship program, and at least two of our students have a increased chance, right, despite the barriers that they face to get into this program and become a union member, pensions, benefits, etc. And so those are the types of opportunities that the early in this region. We're 5 counties, so everyone knows our geographic footprint. Montgomery County, Sarasota County, Connecticut, Peninsula, and all is where we are as the capital area. So through other good news, aside from our graduating cohorts, we got a generous donor who has agreed to match the funds we raised for our pre-apprenticeship. So please donate tonight. Our goal is for a whole nother cohort to be enrolled before the end of the year. That bill is $100,000. That's not our goal for tonight. But if you can do it, we'll take it. But just to make it clearer, 1 hour to support 1 hour for one student is $75. Now, that's a lot. It's still a little under. It's an investment, not just in community, but it's not just a program you go through, you show up for class, you do what you have to do, you go home. We provide wraparound services because the folks who enroll in pre-apprenticeship, not to let them have other barriers, whether that be being unhoused or housing, whether that be immigration, child care, transportation. So we fill those gaps. So to ensure, and even beyond the issues of pre-apprenticeship, once they go on to the apprenticeship, one of the big issues is transportation. All right, and you in seniority matters. So if you're new, your job, your first placement might be out in the sticks or the suburbs or a distance away from Albany. How do you maintain your status in the apprenticeship program if you can't get there? So it's more than just a pre-apprenticeship that gives you skills and the tools you can be successful. So we're encouraging everyone, if you can make a gift right now, 2 hours of training is $150, like I said, 1 hour is $75. Obviously you can do the math, 4 hours is $300. So if you can donate any or encourage others to donate, you can donate through you will be able to donate online at our website. So I'm going to show, because I'm probably not who you came here to see and to talk to, but I had to do my plug for the program and encourage you all to donate. So I'd like to take just a minute to introduce our special guests. We have Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado, who is from Schenectady, New York, right down the road. And currently lives in Rhinebeck with his wife, Lacey, and their 2 sons, Maxwell and Coltrane. Growing up, his parents worked at General Electric, also in Schenectady, demonstrating the values of hard work and commitment to community. That hard-working spirit has stayed with him throughout his life. He earned a Rhodes Scholarship while attending Colgate University in Hamilton, New York, and after returning home from Oxford, he received a law degree from Harvard Law School. Before serving as Lieutenant Governor, Delgado enjoyed a career in the music industry focused on empowering young people through hip-hop. He worked as an attorney focusing on complex commercial litigation while dedicating significant time to pro bono work in connection with criminal justice reform, and served in the U.S. House representing New York's 19th Congressional District. It's because of these diverse professional and personal experiences that the Lieutenant Governor finds common ground with people from all walks of life. Please help me welcome Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado.
I want to thank you for your leadership and for the work that you do day in and day out for our community and to the entire board. I want to thank you for your commitment and leadership, as well to everybody here who's come out in support of the capital area urban league. Thank you. I was sitting there listening to why we're here and the point of supporting ourselves, supporting each other, supporting our young, supporting our communities, and the tangible work that is being done to create economic self-reliance, the tangible work that is being done to collaborate, cooperate amongst nonprofits to make our communities whole. Communities, whether it's South End or Arville, that have been neglected or overlooked or exploited over time and ultimately haven't had a lot of intentional investment in. The work of the Urban League in many respects is shouldering an awful lot. Shouldering a lot of systemic realities, institutional racism, and on top of that, doing so at a time where we have people in power that want to whitewash slavery, that want to do away with diversity, equity, and inclusion, that want to roll back the 1964 Civil Rights Act, that want to roll back the birthright citizenship, which was also included in the 14th Amendment, the birthright citizenship, which was offered in the 14th Amendment, which came about post-Civil War. A lot of folks don't appreciate that birthright citizenship was something that came about because of the way Black Americans were treated. We fought a Civil War. We won. And then the 14th Amendment, you get, no matter where you're born, no matter what state you're in, you're an American citizen. So when Trump talks about rolling back birthright citizenship, or talks about whitewashing slavery, what's going on in the Smithsonian, attention to that reality. Let's take that for what it is. I hear a lot of chatter about a lot of different dimensions that are going on right now across our country, but we should not forget that the essential fight is the original sin. And from that original sin, everything else flows. Because if you ask yourself where every single rights fight stems from, whether it's immigrant rights, women's rights, disability rights, LGBTQ plus rights, it all stems from and is leveraged in the court of law through the 14th Amendment. So our fight gave birth to every other subsequent fight. This is the context I'm trying to make sure you understand. When I say the weight that you're carrying right now in this moment is heavy. It is historical weight. And when we see the cuts that are happening, we saw, all together coalition, you guys are all a part of, the 8 nonprofits, if I'm not mistaken, that are coming together to work together to make our communities whole and do that work day in and day out. And the millions of dollars that was cut by the EPA for that, $20 million. And I believe the grant's called the Community Change Grant. The Community Change Grant. It's a grant meant to make our communities whole, where we incentivize collaboration and cooperation across our communities in an organic and thoughtful way. And so we're not just talking about history, we're talking about a real-time attack on resources meant to uplift our communities. That's happening in real time, and it's affecting real lives. Young brothers, young sisters trying to make a way in an already tough environment, currently being stripped of those pathways. And so again, the work that you all do every single day with these kinds of headwinds is not lost on me. And I want to tell you, as bad as it is at the federal level, we have to rely on the fact that we are New York. And unlike a lot of other states, we do have capacity. We do have resources. We're the 3rd largest economy in this country. The 9th largest economy in the world if we were an independent nation. $254 billion budget every year. So let's not talk about how we just say, look how bad it is in Washington. We need to make sure that New York represents the way it ought to represent in this moment. That means not just throwing away all our money to folks and businesses that aren't really about the business of investing in our communities. We have those resources right here in New York. And it's incumbent upon us to leverage those resources now more than ever. If we're going to keep just giving money away while in the midst of these headwinds, then who are we? And what are we really about? If we're really about the people, now is the time to stand up and do that work and invest in our communities. And thankfully we have these resources, and yet still 1 in 5 of our kids are growing up poor. And half of those kids are growing up in deep poverty in the great blue state of New York. So it's incumbent upon us, and that's why I want to make sure I think, because every act that you are engaged in, every rock that you can push day in and day out, I understand the weight of that rock, and I understand what it takes to get up, push that rock, understanding what's to come. And I'm going to tell you something right now. It's going to keep being hard. I'm not here to sugarcoat what this fight is going to look like. But I was, I don't know if folks know who Lloyd Williams is. Lloyd Williams celebrated his life earlier today at Harvard. He was the co-founder of Harlem. Yes, man. Big service in the city this morning. And there was a few folks who got up and shared some words. And one individual got up and said, you know, we have to remember our history and what we've overcome. The amount we've had to endure as a people. So as bad as we might think Trump is in this moment, whatever's going on in Congress, the cuts that are happening to Medicaid and SNAP, all of it devastated, the giveaways to folks who don't need it at the expense of those less fortunate. We all know how bad that is. But you know what? It's been worse. Amen. Amen. It's been worse. We've had to overcome a lot worse. And those before us figured out a way to do it. And the work that the urban league is doing, the desire to come together and know there's power in numbers. There's power in our collective action and cooperation. That is the recipe that has been passed down generation after generation after generation. I just want you to know that now more than ever it's important to blend worlds. Don't see me as just some actor that's here to effectuate a set of policies. See me as a partner in your fight who will leverage every bit of my voice, every bit of my power to help us engineer ourselves through this situation for the betterment of our community, for the betterment of our young people. And I'm very, very privileged and honored to be able to be here. A kid that grew up in Schenectady, cutting coupons, putting clothes on layaway. That was something about Harvard and Oxford, but let's remember where I started. You know, my parents, but they allowed me to dream, but the community gave me the love that allowed me to chase. But I didn't come from money. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. The community raised me. The church raised me. And the opportunities followed. And it's sad to think that so many of our young people today are growing up with a different kind of narrative. They don't know how the future's going to work for them. Is it going to be a little better than their parents? That's up for debate now, whether it really wasn't when I was growing up. And we can change that. We got to change that. It's not about your typical politician. People are looking for somebody who actually is going to fight for them, fight for their economic pain. Right now, there are a lot of white folks all across this state and country that are catching it too. And it's going to be incumbent upon us as leaders to figure out how to connect all of that so we don't have to scapegoat time and time and time again. Whether it's ourselves, whether it's an immigrant community, it happens all the time. We all are catching economic hell, but somehow some group that's catching the hell too gets scapegoated, and then we get divided. We can't build a real movement to tackle these systemic realities that are affecting everyone. A want to lift up all of our communities and recognize that we have to end this moment and think about a way to build coalitions across difference and understand that our economic pain is a shared pain. It's a shared pain that we've got to be able to contend with. So anyway, I want to say thank you for your commitment and your work. And I'm very proud to be a child of this area, a child of love. And I'm looking at the book here by the late great John Lewis, who I got to serve with, and march across the Edmund has bridge with. And I'm here because of him, and his sacrifices. He's going to die. He's going to die for where I am and where all of us are today. As heavy as it is to say, that's the mentality we need to have. That is the mentality we have to have if we really want to deal with not some political attack of the right, but from a moral attack right at the heart of our country. It's a moral fight, not just a political. We need real moral agents like the late great John Lewis to fight this fight. So, God bless all of you. Thank you for working with me. Support, support, support. Capital Area Urban League. And let's keep working together. Right.
So please eat, donate, and enjoy. Thank you.
Shout out to Sugarfoots.
Yes.